support his country. He will ensure that anything that is good for the country, he sticks present in that regard.
That's Professor Dara from National State University on the call and the concern on patriotism among Nigerians. Let's now move to where we'll now be discussing the just concluded local government election in some state, and most especially using Edinburgh. And we're also seeing the concern about how this is going, the aftermath of the election. And to how far can we really trust that local government autonomy will really have impacts at the grassroots? I'll now be joined by Charles Ojukwu. Thanks so much for joining us on the program tonight.
Thank you very much, Michael. I hope you can hear me.
All right. Quickly, we've seen APGA sweeping all the local government in Edinburgh State in the just concluded election. And are those probably that will be concerned that if APC did same in other states, PDP did same in other states, if APGA is also toeing the line with PDP and the APC, are they making any difference?
Thank you, viewers. You know, we are on the season of electoral templates. Different parties implementing different templates to be able to win election and be declared winner. The point there is the templates being churned out and being implemented. How objective are they if you subject them to third-party objective analysis of the figures and numbers that comes out? Using Anambra State recent local government election as a case study, some people would say that it was a joke. Why I said that, which is why I'm also having this discussion, is that let us go back from the root cause, from the first instance. Yes, everybody in Anambra, including me, has been yearning for us to have a local government election. The state has, been operating without a local government, and I give kudos to President Tinubu, who came and stamped it that there must be democracy at the local level. And he gave them ultimatum and even threatened to withhold the local government funds. Now, this was what gave the rise to these elections, because ordinarily without that effect from above, these governors are not going to do any elections. Now, the state governor, Governor Soludo, formed ANSEC, the state body that would conduct this election. When they formed this ANSEC, there is already an existing local government and the state electoral processes and guidelines in place. But as we may have it, like I said before, electoral templates, you look at what is existing, would it match with your own template to win your state? Because everybody wants to capture local governments or capture states to be able to be in the majority. Now, I feel maybe the already existing electoral law of ANSEC would not favor the template of Governor Soludo. So he now has to go to the state assembly to change and tweak the electoral laws of the state. This has been existing and serving us when we were doing local government election, and everything has been fine. But all of a sudden, they need to tweak it, maybe to suit a template that will favor the governor to be able to retain or capture the local governments. The question is, these processes, do they follow the national guideline? Because I believe that we have a national electoral guideline that should always be a torchbearer to what the sub-nations are doing. The sub-nations electoral processes should not be tangentially off from where the national electoral guideline is going. Now, the ANSEC released the electoral guideline. It was like a speed of light. It was like we are running helter-skelter. Just within 40 days from the announcement of the election schedule, that's the election, boom. You didn't give enough time for the political parties to organize their register. You didn't give enough time for the political parties to organize their agents. You didn't give enough time for the political parties to organize their own internal democracy, settle their rancors, and also be able to provide their candidates. All of a sudden, you're coming in with a speed of light process of doing local government election. It didn't even stop there. You further tweaked the electoral guideline of ANSEC while in the field of play to determine who nominates and who doesn't nominate. Because, like I said, the template the governor wants to use will not be favored by the current existing ANSEC electoral law. So he has to go and get it tweaked by the state legislature. The funny thing is that there wasn't even a consensus agreement in the state legislature because the Labour Party guys staged a walkout. I was listening to one of the members of the local government election, one of the members of the state assembly, who raised a point of order to the speaker, but they ignored it, overruled him. He staged a walkout. So the point is that the legislative arm of government that was meant to check the the executives, they kind of find a way to collude with the executives just to deliver their own template to be able to conduct this local government election. And this is the laughable thing with the figures and numbers they are releasing. And I was just studying my own local government and I'm just laughing about the figures. And I asked them, if you want to cook numbers, try and cook it in a smart template, in a smart format that it can be available to somebody to look at and say, oh, this is believable. You cooked without even, trying to juxtapose the past to cook what may pass off as pseudo-truth. So I saw what they cooked and I was laughing at it. That's why I said the election is laughable.
All right. There are also the consideration and over what the Labour Party probably have also reacted. We've also seen that the Labour Party governorship aspirants have knocked on Soludo over the local government poll. Can you give us an understanding about how this is going? Because if Mr. Peter Obi is from Anambra and it looks that Labour Party is a stronghold in Anambra and that the outcome really wouldn't have been the same. 21 local governments swept by APGA. It looks that APGA still probably is a leading political party in Anambra based on the governor, or is not the reality on ground?
Let's get the basics there. They didn't sweep anything. I told you it's an election of templates. Templates that you have to go to.
So you mean the election was not conducted?
The election was not conducted in a manner that is fair, free, and carrying everybody along. Are you aware that Labour Party was not part of that election? APC was not part of that election. They had a case in court. They withdrew themselves from the election. So the number you saw there for APC and Labour was just number they choose to apportion them, just to be like we had an election. Because when you say Labour Party is strong in Anambra, I don't think I will believe that, because Labour Party has not really been upbeat in doing what they are supposed to do.
They won the last senatorial election. They also won the presidential election.
You understand that Labour Party is also is working hand in hand with Obedient. So what I would say is that the Obedient movement is strong in Anambra, not Labour Party. So let's take Labour Party out of the play here, because if there is any opposition that is strong in Anambra State, it would be APC, not Labour Party. So Labour Party, I still challenge them to get their acts together to be able to do real opposition politics. Now, what the Labour Party guys are saying, I heard one of the members of Labour Party making a video and talking about the election. Like I said, it's a template election. Labour Party was not part of that election. They didn't participate. They didn't
is Governor Soludo doing all of this because of his second term in office?
Of course. All of us are political, have some political insight to put one on one and know that 1 + 1 is 2. All of us are also, well experienced in this field to know that you need to capture the local government so that during your own governorship election, you can be able to sail through. But the question is, are you fair? Are you fair in what you're doing? Are you trying to manipulate processes to suit your template? These are the questions. For my local government, for example, that election they conducted gave Idemili North 51,000 votes. Now, it's a local government election that people don't really even take serious in terms of traveling far and wide to come and participate. Let's be honest, because I traveled down to vote for the 2023 election. A lot of people travel down from Lagos, Abuja, even outside the country to vote. But do you know the numbers we got in that election, 2023? total of 45,000 for my local government. So this same local government, which is the general election in 2023, in the same local government, got 45,000. And you did a local government election that many people did not even participate. Most parties even staged a walkout. APC was not actively involved, Labour was not involved, and you're giving for 51,000 votes. That's why I said the person that cooked that figure is not smart. Because if he's smart, you look at the past before you try to cook up whatever you want to cook. How can you tell me they really not have 51,000 votes when in the general election we had 45,000 votes? Where did you manufacture these figures from?
All right, Mr. Charles, are you bothered that these probably may have, a concern on the financial autonomy granted by the Supreme Court? Because if indeed we want a local government to be financially free, it means that elections at the local level shouldn't be influenced by the state. Are you worried about these?
I am very worried because you cannot control it. You cannot control the influence of the governors on the local governments. That's why when they mention state police, some people are also very worried about the impact of state police and how they are going to use it. Because every governor wants to be in control of, because there is what they call abateke in my language. They've been doing this system of, oh, you collect the money from the government, you put it in the joint account of the state and local government, they will now disburse what you're going to use in your local government. That's what is in existence. Now they want to pay the money direct to the local government. I'm still wondering, will they still continue their abateke, or will the person that they call the executive democratically elected chairman assert himself and be a man of himself to use 100% of the money from the federal government to implement and not doing this state joint account something? And that's why I will ask the EFCC to mount their searchlight in these local government chairmen and local government executive and leaders. The local level politicians and the people involved in each local government should beam their searchlight on their local government chairmen and executives to be sure that they have to account for whatever penny that is coming to them. Because this old format of you collect the money from the federal government, you pay into the state joint account, the state government will not give you what you're going to use. It has got to stop. We cannot continue that way. We cannot develop our local government system. They have local roads they are meant to build. They have local markets they are meant to build. They have local hospitals they are meant to build. So that money from federal government must be fully and 100% utilized for the local government system service provision and not for abateke with state government.
All right. Just before we begin to wrap it up, how does a common Anambra or anyone who is who really witnesses feeling about this exercise? What steps have the political party taken? Give us an understanding about the move.
You can say I'm laughing. Everybody in Anambra State is just laughing about it because we know that what happened is a case of local government capture. What happened is a case of manipulating electoral templates that's already in
Has that always been the case?
To tweak your template. That has
always been the case. When you look at what other governors, previous governors have been doing.
No, that has not always been the case. Other governors leave the electoral guideline the way they are, following the national template of the electoral guideline, and go for the election and do their campaigning. And everybody participates, not some parties, major political opposition parties, staging a walkout and not being part of the election. You should be worried about that. When the oppositions have said, we're not going to be part of this election, and you went further to conduct the election without stopping to pause and address their issues, address their concerns. So these are the issues we're talking about. Because, the system favors them now and they are happy. What if it doesn't favor them tomorrow and another party does the same template of what they are doing now? They will still be shouting democracy is in danger. Democracy is in danger.
So the people of Abga shouldn't scream if a governorship election is conducted today in Anambra, and probably I'm not projecting things goes out of hand. Shouldn't that also be a signal to them?
It's a question of template. The governor is in charge of the state electoral body, so it's a template. He used a template that favors him. Tomorrow, if another person that has higher power uses a different template, people should not call names. Because since we don't want to be fair, equitable, and fair play of justice in administrating elections, then if it happens to you today and you benefit and you're happy and say democracy has won, tomorrow, if it happens to benefit other person and not you, I want you to also say democracy has won too.
All right, very lastly, we look that it's not just happening in Anambra. We've also seen it in Kwara State. We've also seen the same issues in Adamawa State. We've seen a case in all of that. What's your concern and the message about all of this capturing? The danger it probably is posing to granting financial autonomy to local government? Very quickly, please.
There is poverty in the land. People are ready to be tools for these politicians to achieve the implementation of their selfish electoral templates for local government capture and to hold the local government system under their hegemonic rule of trying to do this Abateke system of federal government allocation to local governments being into state joint account so that they can perpetuate themselves in terms of financial abundance, in terms of war chests to go for their second term. That's what's playing out. Every governor wants to be in charge of the local government. But the question and the charge I will give to all the local government guys that has been elected in whatever template they used to elect them, whether APC or APGA or PDP, is this. You've been elected. You have a mandate democratically given to you by whatever template that you've gotten it. The question is, what would you be remembered for? You have money sent to you direct by the federal government. How can you account for that money to the service of the local government system where you administer? Or are you stiffening the money to satisfy and pat the back of the state government that helped you to be there? Or are you trying to be very fair with your local government population by providing the good roads, the good market, the good health care that they need? The question is on their conscience to use the money for local governments to do what is meant to be done.
Many thanks, Mr. Charles Ojoko, a medical practitioner and a public affairs analyst. Thanks so much for joining us on the program tonight.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be with you always.
And everyone, thanks so much for tuning in and joining us and stay with us on Big Talk. A concern of how far we can get development to the grassroots is a call for everyone. We must put our hands together to getting development from the grassroots down to the nation. The presidency has promised and over again that is on top of the situations in salvaging the economic sad situation we are today, that it needs more times and calling on many Nigerians to continue to exercise patience. As long as these patients it can go, the questions Nigerians are asking is, at what cost should we make all of these sacrifices? We'll keep tracking to know what government are doing and how far development is taking place in states and local government and of course Nigeria. My name is Odika Michael. Thanks so much for tuning in and stay with us, and may God bless Nigeria.